up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
No, let that team stand away. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Graham Ruckert for the touchdown. Graham shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Wednesday. I'm Brandon Beam, hanging out with my main man, Tim May, and we got our guy, Nate Dogg, behind the glass. Tim, happy Wednesday to you. You look like you golfed today.
Happy Wednesday to you. No, I did not. You know what I did? I actually taped. Is that what you call it? Because we didn't use tape. But Clay Hall and
digitally record.
Clay Hall and I are doing a podcast stuff this season.
Nice.
Called the Clay May Report, and we did our first one in Ohio Stadium today. And
the semi-retired guys.
Yeah, we were sort of like walking, talking icons because people were taking tours and recognizing us. You know what I mean? And
well, if they're not going to recognize you two, who would they recognize? You guys are icons.
That's a good point. We could throw Dom in there, and we'd have a hell of a mix, Dom Taberry. But it's pretty cool, and we're gonna have a good time doing this. Be on YouTube and Spotify and maybe a couple other platforms.
It's called the Clay and May.
The Clay May Report. He wants it to be the May Clay Report. And I go, no, Clay May sounds cooler.
Who gets the byline?
Don't you think Clay May sounds better?
Clay May sounds.
It's not too late to change it. I haven't posted it yet, but I was out and about, and I'm doing all kinds of chores because we're trying to get our house in order because we're hosting about 15 or 20 people on Sunday, the day after my son Corey gets married, which is the reason why Tim May, for the first time since 1984, did not go to the Big Ten media days this year. I was all hands on deck.
Well, you have to with a wedding.
Yeah, I guess. I think I could have snuck off, and my wife would have never missed me because
I think
it's kind of one of those things where, instead of telling me how to do something, she just goes ahead and does it herself.
Yeah. Or, you know what's the worst? Is when...
Is anything worse than that?
When someone asks you how to do something, like, hey, what would you do? And then you give them the answer, and they're like, that's a bad idea. You know what? I'm going to do it by myself.
That will not work. But, I mean, I didn't think I would, but just like I didn't go to the Indy 500 for the first time since 85.
Missing out on all kinds of cool stuff.
I know, but I kind of enjoyed going to the media days because you could ask guys any question you want to ask them, you know what I mean? And I'm talking about you get to hang out with the coaches of the teams Ohio State's going to play during the regular season of the Big Ten, nine-game Big Ten season.
The vaunted 9-game.
Throw that in there.
It's been a very hot topic this week.
We'll talk about that in a minute, I hope, because, it's Kurt. A lot of people don't like Kurt Cignetti because he says a lot of things that are absolutely true, and it hits them sideways. But
good news for you, we do have some Kurt Cignetti center we're going to get to at the Pulse at 6:30.
That's great. But yeah, you miss being there, and like last year, talking with Dan Lanning for a long time, and some of those other coaches and stuff, guys you've never met before, and I absolutely did miss it. But I think Adam King and all these other guys, Austin and Jeremy Birmingham, I think they covered the shoreline.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff.
Along with our buddies, Pat Murphy and Steve Hellwagon.
So they had to sit down with Ryan Day and Caleb Downs, I think. So all kinds of content coming out from Vegas. During your time covering the Buckeyes, so this is the first time in however many years they've been doing media days that you have not been there. Did you have a favorite character from media days? Like just coach, player, favorite interaction?
From the get-go, the first one, Lou Holtz, he was the first-year coach at Minnesota. That was I talked about this on the Juice Show. Is that what it's called?
I believe so.
From 6 to 8, I did that gig Monday and Tuesday with Tito. Jeff
Carp's down on the Ohio River
because Carp was trying to take some time off. Yeah, I thought you said carp is in the Ohio River, but that's a fish. But you digressed for me. But
I did.
I told him the famous story Lou Holtz told in the actual luncheon, a Big Ten media kickoff luncheon. And it was actually a kickoff luncheon with media, could interview people back then. And he talked about he had this dream before they started the night before they started the program. And there was this big fountain in the Hyatt Regency on Wacker Drive
in Chicago.
Yeah, in Chicago.
Upper or lower Wacker?
Yeah. Well,
it gets confusing around
I think it's
parts.
upper Wacker. I think lower Wacker goes below. I've found through my years, you can't say Wacker enough, right?
No.
But
top 3 word of all time, maybe.
But anyway, he said he had this dream that Wayne Duke has decided the way they're going to decide the Big Ten championship year is not going to be on the field. He had put a big fish in that fountain, and whoever caught that fish, his team was going to be the Big Ten champion. And so they lined them up,
The coaches?
from 1 to 10, and starting with Bo Schembechler, you have to catch that fish. So Bo had a rod and reel with a nice lure on it. He kept throwing that lure in. And
Hold on. You're telling me that this is a real story?
It's a real story.
This is that 10 Big Ten coaches were in front of the fountain in Chicago?
This was Lou Holtz's dream.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that this was...
I should have been saying it. I should have been doing it.
That happened.
I should have been doing it with the proper voice. But he said Bo Schembechler stepped up there and he threw this lure in the water. That fish wouldn't go near, and he finally got all exasperated and he left. He's stomped out. And then it was Earl Bruce, and Earl Bruce had a bow and arrow. And Earl Bruce had 10 arrows, and he shot 10 arrows, and he missed that fish every time, and he left quite upset with himself. And it went right on down the line until finally it came to Lou Holtz, head coach Minnesota. So I kneeled down next to that fountain, and I reached in my back pocket, and I pulled out a teaspoon. And I reached that teaspoon into the water, and I took the water and threw it over my left shoulder. And I did it again, and I did it again. And this little old lady, finally, I've been there for 2 minutes, this little old lady walks up, and she goes, "Lou Holtz, what do you think you're doing?" And I dipped another dip out of that water, and I said, "Ma'am, I'm going to the Rose Bowl."
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, there's some guys that get up there and give the depth chart, but Lou Holtz has always been another character.
Absolutely, he has. Thanks for sharing that, Tim. That's great. We got a great show lined up for you here this evening. Quick hour-long program for us. The Inside Edge will kick in at 7 o'clock, as is tradition here on a Wednesday. So quick one. We got a lot of stuff to get to. We'll do your biggest takeaways from the Bucs and everything going on at Media Day in Vegas. In our next segment, Tim, we'll do the Pulse at 6:30. We'll get to some of that Kurt Signetti sound and reasoning for a 9-game schedule. Also, Rhett Lashley hammering the SEC as well. So a couple of coaches doing that. And then we'll get out of here at 7 o'clock. But I did see this yesterday from Ross Dellinger, who I really appreciate Ross's work. He does a lot of legwork on some very big stories, and a lot of the times I don't really understand it and legal jargon and what's going on with NIL.
I'm with you, brother.
And I have to reread it 4 or 5 times because this. I mean, it's an ever-changing landscape, and I'm like, all right, well, how is this going to change tomorrow? So this came down from yesterday. Attorneys for the House plaintiffs have struck an agreement with the power conferences and NCAA officials to mend decision-making from the industry's new enforcement arm, the College Sports Commission. And if this sounds like jargon to you, it's because it is. Related to new booster-backed collectives, how they can compensate athletes. Multiple sources spoke to Yahoo Sports under the condition of anonymity, and as part of the agreement, the CSC is expected to treat collectives or any school-associated entity in a similar fashion as other businesses when determining the legitimacy of third-party NIL deals. Now, that wasn't the case, from what I understand, because collectives were going through the NIL Go or clearinghouse, and they were saying, you're not a legitimate business. We're holding you to a higher threshold than, let's say, pick your random company. Whatever.
I had the bingo card on this. That was going to be the first thing to fall. I said that when the agreement was made.
Yeah.
It was going to stand up in court. I mean, it was going to get challenged legally. And yeah, so there you go. I mean, it's what is somebody worth? If I wanted to hire you for my new radio station and pay you $300,000,
I'd say yes.
Which is more than what the $25,000 or $30,000 you're making now, right?
Yes,
am I right?
Very accurate.
Speaking of fishing, like Lou Holtz for a raise for you, who's to tell me I can't do that?
Of course.
And now I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm not saying it's right or wrong for the colleges to take advantage of that. But who are you to tell me that Jeremiah Smith or Johnny Smith isn't worth this much to me to have an association with him and what he could possibly bring my business or my collective, whatever you want to call it.
How are you telling me that is not a legitimate business opportunity?
Correct.
And that's what got squashed. So now you have the situation in which the House settlement kicked in. You're going to have $20.5 million per school on the maximum basis, and
of revenue sharing.
Revenue sharing directly from the school to the athletes.
And not all football.
Not all football. 4 programs here at Ohio State's football, men's and women's basketball, and women's volleyball. And it is my understanding, Tim, now collectives are going to be back kind of in the fray, in the mixer, right?
In the picture.
So now it's going to be a quote unquote, it's a hard cap for universities to pay their athletes, but it's now a soft cap because you can kind of do whatever you want through the collectives
Correct.
that raise their money. So that's how at least I understand all of this and what's ever changing in the NIL world.
Yeah, and like I said, it was going to get challenged immediately, and it did.
Yeah,
and
I think you said that on this show.
And the consternation, definitely I did. I've said it on a lot of shows. And the consternation across the board was going to be universal, especially I'm talking about for the powers that be. Not the ones that don't even have collectives or have very little collections going on, kind of like a Baptist church instead of a. I was going to get into an analogy there. It was going to get me in trouble. But the bottom line is, it was always going to be challenged. Ohio State, under Ross Bjork, Ohio State tried to toe the line to begin with, because you don't want to get caught out and be doing something that gets you later in trouble with the National Collegiate Athletic Association, as long as it's still around,
or the new arm, the CSC,
or the new arm, the CSC. So it's a good day once again for college athletics, especially major college football players.
We'll do your biggest takeaways, Tim, from what you've seen over the first couple of days of Big Ten Media Days out in Vegas. Coming up next, it's the Buckeye Show on the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system. Building strong, lasting relationships, we're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
Bishop and Friends.
I love how that was his red flag. Like, that's where he drew the line, not all of the sugar that's in the filling.
It's okay, though. Fat-free whipped cream and milk. He's fine.
Bishop and Friends, sponsored by Diamond Cellar.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on The Fan.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Sunny skies, light winds, and low humidity, but it is hot on this Wednesday. Temperatures around 90 degrees. Overnight will fall back down to around 70 with fair skies and light winds. And after a pleasant start, a hot finish. 10 weather impact alert for your Thursday afternoon with the heat index around 100 degrees. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
All Buckeyes, all the time. You are listening to The Buckeye Show.
We are on The Buckeye Show, brought to you by our great friend over at Coors Light. Those mountains are blue. You know, those suckers are as cold as the Rockies. We got our guy Tim May in with us. He'll be in with us tomorrow as well. Public service announcement. We will be out at Yogi's in Grandview from 6 to 8 tomorrow. So come and hang out with us. Tell more great stories with Tim. You've been out to Big Ten Media Days for forever, Tim. You have been out to Las Vegas. You have not been out to Las Vegas to cover the Big Ten in the Media Days. It's just, it sounds weird. It looks weird. Like everybody's tweeting out pictures of the desert. I'm like, I don't know. That's just, it's fine. I know that you want to.
I was in Las Vegas twice in January, but no, I didn't get to go this year because of what we talked about earlier, you know, all hands on deck for my son Corey's wedding. Yeah, I mean, you know, Las Vegas in the summer is not the same as Las Vegas in the winter, that's for sure.
No, it's not.
I think it was like, high of 108 out there yesterday.
It's a dry heat.
Yeah, it is a dry heat. As John Cooper said when he moved up here to be the head coach at Ohio State, everybody said, yeah, everybody's always told me it's a dry heat out there in Arizona, and he goes, well, your oven's dry too, but you don't go sticking your head in it.
That's a good point, Coach.
I mean, it's 108 is hot because I remember when Ohio State played at Arizona way back in, what was that, 99, 2000 might have been season, one of the early games in the season, might have been the season opener even. And I got off the plane and I flew into Phoenix and got off the plane in Phoenix. It was 99 at 10 o'clock, and I went, I'm not in.
This is for the birds.
I'm not in Columbus anymore.
And you're from Texas.
Well, I grew up in Texas. I wore cowboy boots almost every day of my life in high school and whatever. And it was in the mid-90s every day, high humidity. But I was used to it, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But now I go back there. Last time I visited there in the summer, it was routinely a high of 98 to 102. And then we went to Galveston for 3 days. It's on an island in the Gulf of Mexico. It was a high of 92.
Beautiful beaches.
It literally felt like you were in air conditioning. I mean, you know, Houston is almost unlivable in the summer.
Oh, it's like a humidity of 100% every day.
It's. I don't know how they get people to work outside, but that's one of the reasons. By the way, I worked construction my first summer out of high school, and I said I got to do something else with my life. This is not gonna work. You know, especially when I stepped on a rusty nail. But that's another story. But anyway, back to the Big Ten meetings. Yeah, I mean, yesterday was very interesting because I thought the most profound thing, and it's what we've been saying all along, but Ryan Day put it into words, is that in essence, that Big Ten championship, or excuse me, that national championship trophy. Boy, did I overspeak right there, right? Mm-hmm. That national championship trophy is on full display at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. And is not in jeopardy of leaving. No, unlike Michigan's from last year, 2 years ago. But
unless it was Tony Petitti.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We'll see how the Big Ten, the NCAA finally rules. But I don't think they're taking it away from them. But the point is, no one can take it away from you. Yeah. You're not defending it. That's a great point. I always make with people. College football teams are so different from one year to the next, even if they've got their starting quarterback back, even if you've got Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith back, considered the best on defense and the best on offense in the nation players, you still got a very different team. Same way with Texas coming in here. Everybody's looking at Texas as having the upper hand because Arch Manning has started 3 games?
Yep.
And against University of Louisiana Monroe, Mississippi State, I think, and Texas San Antonio or Texas State.
Those are your big dogs.
Those are your big dogs. Yeah. Don't leave the porch if you can't run with the big dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
they also lost a ton in the draft too.
Yeah, they lost 12 guys in the draft and quite a few free agent signees, just like Ohio State lost 14. They're literally fighting the same battle, except they have a name at quarterback that everybody recognizes and has played some. And it's funny because I was on the Paul Feinbaum show yesterday afternoon, and I had it's kind of a Jeopardy scenario conundrum for Paul. I said, Paul, what is 5-1? And he stammered because he blistered me pretty good this time a year ago on an appearance on there. And he goes 5-1. He goes, Tim or whatever, I don't know. I said the question in the Jeopardy format is what was the Big Ten's record against Southeastern Conference teams in bowl games last year?
So you gave him the question first, and then you gave him the answer.
You give the answer, and then he's got to give the question.
That's right.
And, of course, Ohio State beat 2 SEC teams on the way to the national championship.
Don't let that get in the way of the propaganda, Tim, all right? Don't let that get in the way of it.
It's crazy. I mean, is it Rhett Lashley?
Yeah, Rhett.
I think he was speaking for a lot of people when he spoke yesterday. Are we get into that later?
We'll get into that coming up at 6:30.
Yeah, but anyway, back to the big, it's my favorite question somebody asked Jeremiah Smith was his Mount Rushmore for Ohio State receivers.
It's a pretty good answers.
Very good answer.
Do you think, let me ask you this, name the guys that he put on there.
What did he say? Chris Carter.
Marv
Harrison.
Jackson.
Jackson Smith and Jigba and Ted Ginn Jr.
Ted Ginn.
All 4 different guys, very different receivers. There are other guys clearly you could put on there. You could have 3 Mount Rushmores.
I think you could ask 1,000 different people in Columbus to give you their Mount Rushmore of Ohio State receivers, and you would come up with nearly 1,000 different answers.
Yeah, but Chris Carter should be on all 4 or all 1,000 of those.
I think Marv should be.
Marv,
what he did.
Right.
Let me ask you this: do you think if you gave Jeremiah Smith truth serum, and he was included in this Mount Rushmore, that he would put himself on that?
Well, what he knows is he's only had 1 season.
Yeah.
Right? Chris Carter was quite remarkable. Then Chris Carter didn't get to play his senior season because of the agent situation. So I think Jeremiah Smith is supremely confident. He's not cocky.
No.
I mean, there's a big difference. And it is such a joy to anytime you talk to this guy. I mean, I think Ryan Day even talked about it yesterday. Expect when you ask Jeremiah Smith a question, he's going to give you the answer. What he truly believes, not some wishy-washy, mush-mouth kind of stuff.
No, it's black and white when he speaks.
Absolutely. And so that's what stands out about him as much as his athletic ability is he's almost aloof to what's going on around him. But I think if you push comes to shove, I mean, he will definitely tell you he's the best receiver in college football this year.
And I think he would be right in saying that.
Well, absolutely. He's not the only. Yeah, exactly. He just okay. Now it's 100%, right?
Yeah.
That he agrees. But I just like the way I've liked the way this guy's carried himself ever since I first met him last year. Man, I just there's an impression about that he makes in the first time you meet him, and it sticks. And it's just that he's the truth. And I think that's the best way to put it. But you know what? When you talk about wide receivers, do you remember Garrett Wilson?
I do remember Garrett Wilson.
The catch he made against Clemson?
Yes.
In 2000, what was it, 19?
You remember when they put him in the slot and then everything just became unfair? That seemed like a
Garrett
good
Wilson should be on them outright. Garrett Wilson.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many different guys.
Was underrated coming out of high school because nobody knew who he was until, Ryan Day discovered him when he was going there to look at a quarterback, and you just go, Chris Olave, oh my goodness.
And then the first taste that you got from him was in that Michigan game where he becomes a Wolverine Slayer for all time.
Correct. And made Greg Schiano look like a genius, on a punt block. Yeah. But he also caught, didn't he also catch, I'm trying to remember.
He caught an onside kick, which was one of the coolest plays I've ever seen in my life.
Where's that been ever since?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But Chris Olave's gone now. So
yeah, but I mean, you understand what I'm saying. I mean, so when you start nitpicking, I mean,
Michael Jenkins.
Santonio Holmes, Michael Jenkins, Tidkin Jr. does belong because Tidkin Jr. was freakish. He wasn't utilized enough by far, but he was freakish. And there are a lot of freaks that come along. There are alpha dogs that come along. But Tidkin Jr. was freakish in his ability and what he could have really brought to bear if, in fact, he'd been utilized a little bit more as an offensive player, in my opinion. But,
I would put Jeremiah Smith in that freakish category.
Yeah. But he's not – I don't know how to explain this. He's not spectacular in the sense of when he breaks away, you don't realize how fast he's running, kind of like Robert Smith.
Yeah.
That's who he reminds me of running. I mean, he's not the same gait, but he's going a lot faster than you thought he was.
You watch Ted Ginn run, and you're like, wow, he is moving.
Yeah, he's moving, but he had that long stride too, man. The great thing about Ted Ginn Jr. is he'd make you miss from 5 yards away. I mean,
3.
Yeah, but I'm talking about he would set you up from 5 yards away.
He'd put that foot in the dirt, Tim, and
it was hilarious because all you're sitting there as a defender, which way is he going to go? Which way is he going to go?
Yeah, I'm just going to fall down.
Yeah.
I don't stand a chance.
But, I mean, Robert Santonio Holmes. I mean, there's a million guys you could name that have been great receivers at Ohio State that, from Brookhaven, Terry Glenn.
Yeah. The burner from Bel Air.
The guy could float through the air. The guy could leap.
Joey Galloway.
It seemed exactly. So where do you start? Where do you end?
I don't know.
Maybe it needs to be more like a pantheon than it does a Mount Rushmore.
Nate, I mean, who would you put on your Mount Rushmore?
I don't know if I'm about the Mount Rushmore, but I always feel like my man Devin Smith keeps getting ignored in this conversation.
Such a great weapon. I mean, just incredibly utilized in that championship.
He kind of got it going, I mean, Greg, Ron Robisky was around then and stuff, but later. But Devin Smith was the one that really go, wow, that was spectacular. Haven't seen that before. And then you realize he's a former high jumper.
Yeah.
And boy, could he do it. What was that against Miami of Ohio?
Mm-hmm.
That first game, and you go, wow. And you could name a bunch of Anthony Gonzalez.
Yeah, sure. Gonzo's on the list.
For one catch, if not, many. The catch against Michigan, the fallback catch in, 2005 from Troy Smith.
The guy who I was co-hosting with last night, Dane Sonsenbacher.
Dane Sonsenbacher, totally it wasn't underrated. I mean, John Gruden liked it. Sonsenbacher.
We did a full segment on that last night
I'm sure.
Why Dane lives in John Gruden's head.
And by the way, he's been on our scramble teams a few times, he and Jake Ballard. And Sonsenbacher, when he gets it figured out, sometimes it takes him a while, but when he gets in the groove, he's as good as anybody we play with.
David Boston. We didn't even mention him.
Yeah, D. Miller's probably upset. He's probably listening to this right now going, what about me?
Yeah, right.
What about me?
Name your list. Everyone's is different.
Yes.
Everyone's is different,
exactly.
Which is amazing. So Jeremiah Smith did a good job putting his Mount Rushmore together. You can always chime in on YouTube. Put your Mount Rushmore in the comments if you want. We've got all kinds of coaches throwing barbs at the SEC. We're going to do that in the Pulse here in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company for your next vehicle. This is Justin Hinderer. Every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty, award-winning service, and our exclusive Carvenience. We pick up your vehicle, service it, and return it so you save time and enjoy peace of mind. That's Carvenience. At Hinderer Motor Company, we take care of everything so you can drive worry-free. See why we're the best choice for your next new or used car by visiting HindererMotorCompany.com.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
The Donato's $5 Pizza Pals menu is adding some pals. Donato's savory and delicious family recipe meatballs are now on the Pizza Pals menus, along with new Oreo twists. Sweet, delicious pull-apart twists with real Oreo cookie pieces drizzled with vanilla icing. You can order unlimited $5 Pizza Pals with any large pizza. So order today and load up on all the Pizza Pals you want. Donato's, gotta love more.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hanging out with my guy Tim May tonight. Just talking about great catches in Ohio State history. And I had a video from one of our fantastic listeners. Actually, he's a friend of a friend. He's a golf course superintendent up in Chicago, and my friend is a assistant superintendent, and they met together, and I lived with him out of college. Didn't know this guy, but he listens to the show, and he sent me a great video of the Jeremiah Smith catch up at Michigan State last year from Devin Brown, and it's this great angle from the corner of the end zone.
It is, man.
Where you can see the catch
everything
in all of its glory.
They're not going to throw it. They're not going to throw it here. They just put Devin Brown in because Will Howard, one of the few times Will Howard left the game last year.
And then he throws a bullet right to him, and JJ catches it with the one hand. So
it was spectacular on both ends of that. Agreed. Because Devin Brown, how warm could he have been running in there and stuff?
They threw a bullet.
But they call that play, but too bad they didn't save that for the game against the Michigan team without the state on the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. Nate Dogg, what do you got for us tonight?
All right, it is Media Days, which has become everyone bash the SEC days.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Red Lashley got in on the action. SMU's head coach still annoyed everyone last year, said SMU should not make the playoffs in favor of another SEC team. He said the SEC has had the same 6 schools win the championship since 1964. Not a single one has been different since 1964. That's top-heavy to me. That's not depth. And in fact, you have to go back to 1932 to make it 8 teams.
Well, not technically, right?
No, technically 9, but one is no longer in the SEC.
But now you got OU and Texas who have brought more championships to the table.
And they've won. Yeah, I just did the math. Yeah, I just did the math on Twitter, and because I pointed out Ohio State, the Big Ten has 6 teams that have won national championships since '64. The SEC has 7.
Yeah,
actually, and 8 if you count Arkansas's negligible 1964 national championship when the Football Writers Association of America voted them number 1, but they didn't win either of the wire service polls. So Alabama won one of those, and I forgot who won the UPI. But the bottom line is, but he's right about the top heavy, but so is the Big Ten.
Yeah, the Big Ten is absolutely top heavy.
Any conference is.
Especially when you're talking about conferences with 16 teams, with 18 teams. Yes, more teams at the top are going to be better than your bottom dwellers. That's just how it works. And then if you start to win consistently, Tim, I'm not breaking any news to you, then you have a good program. And then you look over the course of a decade or 20 years, 25 years, you have way more wins than losses, but someone has to be eating those losses, and those are the bottom feeders.
Yeah, as I point out, do you really want super conferences? Because here's the thing, you can the thing about, the Big Ten and the SEC merging for one of another term in terms of creating their own entity and then maybe bringing along one of these other ones, but you still got to have somebody to beat.
It'd be like the Clay May report.
Yeah, it'd be like the Clay May report.
You guys just challenging the Klingons for intergalactic glory.
We're just having fun. Clay Hall, as you know, is one of the great guys I've ever met and stuff, and we're just kind of like tapping on our knowledge, whatever it is, and when we're wrong, we'll come back the next time and fix it, correct it. But yeah, going back to what we're talking about, you can make that argument. I mean, when I first started covering Ohio State football in 1984, it was my first time I voted in the AP poll. You know who I voted for number 1 at the end of the year?
1964, Ohio State.
No, excuse me, 1984.
No, I don't. Who did you vote for?
It was Brigham Young.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So what are we talking about here, right? But yeah, you just get tired of the word. You actually do get tired of the wordplay during the offseason and stuff. And the SEC and Greg Sankey just talking about, one of these things is not like the other. Remember 2 years ago, and they are trying to say the same thing last year, and it kind of nauseates you a little bit because last year was a down year. for the Southeastern Conference.
I've said this on this show and these airwaves a lot. For whatever reason, I watched more SEC football than I think I ever have in my life last year.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Let me give it a try. Let me just see what it's all about. I'm like, it's not that great.
Right.
It's good, but it's not that great. And to your point, I think it was a down year. But yes, it's a really good conference. But I think they also, too, and this could be an entire segment or multiple segments, they also get super propped up by preseason rankings.
Correct.
Like, very much propped up.
When you're talking about power rankings, and then when you look at the power rankings and you're basing it on how you really perceive your own league, it's nuts. I like the one barb I like to throw at Paul Feinbaum is the fact that USC, a team he has ripped on, Lincoln Riley, and basically deservedly so. USC started.
I'm not sparing any barbs for Lincoln Riley.
USC started the season with a win over an SEC team, LSU, last year, and ended it with a win over whoever it was in the Las Vegas Bowl, another SEC team. USC, which was middle of the road at best in the Big Ten.
At best
in the Big Ten.
They beat A&M in the Vegas Bowl.
Texas A&M in the Vegas Bowl. So
yeah, but they'll tell you that it wasn't the playoffs, so these games don't matter.
I know. See, they have the built-in Brady excuses. I mean, that's the way. But if the SEC had gone 5-1 against the Big Ten last year, but didn't win a national championship, they'd be bragging about it like you wouldn't believe. Well, you would believe it because you know who's saying it. But yeah, it's just play it on the field. But this idea that playing. This is where I like Signetti. Are we talking about that yet?
Yeah, so Nate, if you want to fire up the clip from old Sig yesterday.
Kurt's been taking some junk for canceling the Virginia game, and his response was, the SEC does it.
Here's the bottom line, okay? We picked up an extra home game, and we play 9 conference games. The 2 best conferences in college football, any football guy that's objective will tell you, is the Big Ten and the SEC, all right? 12 of the 16 SEC teams play 3 G5 or an FCS game. 12 of those teams play 36 games, 29 G5 games, and 7 FCS games, and 1 less conference game. All right? So we figure we'd just adopt SEC scheduling philosophy. Some people don't like it. I'm more focused in on those 9 conference games.
Where's the lie?
No, he's exactly right. That's why the 9 conference games matters, because you are playing what your conference considers to be a quality opponent, no matter who it is. When it's a conference
top dog,
game,
bottom feeder, whatever, it's a conference game.
If you're in the SEC and you're playing Mississippi State last year, you counted that as a quality opponent.
I thought Alabama counted Vanderbilt as a quality opponent.
Mississippi State, which got drubbed by Toledo. So, yes, you're exactly right. They definitely count them as a quality opponent now. Let me ask you. That's a good question. Would you like to be Vanderbilt this year going into?
Where do they finished like 12th in the preseason rankings for the SEC Media Days, but they also got 2 votes to win the SEC championship.
I can't remember if they play at Alabama this year. I can't remember Alabama's schedule.
I know they play Alabama because Ryan Williams for this offseason said it's basically going to be like an ant with a sledgehammer.
Right, because it was at Vanderbilt last year.
It was, so I would imagine that.
They are at Alabama.
But here's the thing. Everybody keeps talking about an SEC Big Ten, what do you call it?
Like a SEC Big Ten
challenge. But if it's Mississippi State versus Northwestern, for example, and it's one of the games,
I'm locking in on it.
Or Mississippi State versus Purdue, does that suffice?
I think that's fair.
You understand what I'm saying there?
That's fair. That's comped though. I would rather see Mississippi State play Purdue than I would see Mississippi State play Ohio State or Purdue play Georgia.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course I would, but you're only going to play one of them. And is that the game you really want to see when you talk about SEC Big Ten showdowns? No, you want to see Georgia play Ohio State, and you want to see Alabama play Penn State, and you want to see Florida, maybe not Florida yet, but Florida's coming on. Lagway's a real deal. Mm-hmm. But Texas play Michigan. I mean, that's the games when they talk about that. That's what fans have in their brain.
I actually give credit to Alabama this year because you look at their schedule and they do have the typical like FCS opponent and week like the second to last week of the season.
Right.
But they do start out of the gates with Florida State and then they've got Louisiana Monroe their second game and then they play Wisconsin.
Right.
Like, all right, you got 2 Power 4 games in there. You got Florida State and Bama. Like I'll give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
Bama has a nice looking schedule for this year.
And here's the thing, though, as I pointed out to Feinbaum yesterday, Indiana lost 2 games last year. You know who they were to?
Indiana, Notre Dame, and Ohio State.
Notre Dame, who played for the national championship last year.
Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Yeah, so what do they have to apologize for?
Remember sitting there on Friday?
Not a damn thing.
You remember sitting there on that Friday night of that game because we had the Friday night game between Indiana and Notre Dame, and then we had the 3-pack of games that Saturday. And everybody was laughing at poor old Indiana.
Yeah.
Like, man, told you they shouldn't be in the playoffs. Look at this. They got smoked by Notre Dame. And to their point, it was not a fair fight. They tried to make it a game at the end. It was a little not enough time.
It was the closest game of the weekend.
It was the closest game of the weekend.
Bingo.
And then we got through it. It's like, see, Indiana still shouldn't have belonged. It's like, look at the other scores.
Isn't it amazing that they're in the same state and they have hardly ever played?
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Meanwhile, they got as far as they could with Rourke, that quarterback, the transfer from Ohio.
He did had an awesome season.
I like saying his name. Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, your guy.
Is a much more talented quarterback. We'll see what happens with Indiana this year.
You think about them this year.
Yeah.
Indiana.
Yeah.
You think they're going to be all right?
I think they have, but they what do they play at Oregon? They've got a hell of a schedule, man. They play at Oregon.
Their non-conference schedule is.
Yeah, well, no. Their non-conference schedule is Signetti-ish.
Yeah, it is. They got Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State.
Yeah, and so they dropped Virginia to get a few more games with Kennesaw Mountain Landis State, as I call them. I don't have any problem with that. You know what I mean?
You're Indiana. If there's one team in the Big Ten that should be trying to not prop up their schedule, it's you.
Yes, exactly. Now that everybody's making fun of them because they were getting beat by these kind of teams a few years ago.
Watch out.
Right.
They did a $50 million renovation to their stadium. They're all good.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure Virginia is much better than Kennesaw State. Kennesaw
they're
State,
pretty bad.
I know. I'm joking. But you know what I'm saying. So they should keep Virginia on there. And if Indiana beats Virginia, you're going, yeah, that was a big win.
Yeah, it's a powerful win,
you're
baby.
You're not sitting there in California saying that when you're seeing the score scroll from the 12 noon game.
Indiana's Big Ten schedule is tough. They do welcome in Illinois, their first Big Ten game of the season.
That's a huge one, actually.
It is. Then they go to Kinnick and then go on the road to Eugene in Oregon.
Yes.
The story will be told the first 3 games out of the gates in the Big Ten for Indiana this
Correct.
season.
We're going to know where the Signetti system can work a second time. But here's what you got to give it up to him no matter what you thought. What a magic act they pulled last year.
It was terrific.
I mean, they played quality. If you even watch them against Ohio State, they actually defended Ohio State fairly well. They just couldn't do anything offensively.
They didn't have the horses for it.
Correct. But they had a great plan on defense. Just, occasionally you just get beat by better players and stuff. And I don't know. I don't have any. I like Signetti because he speaks his mind.
I do too. I'm with you on that.
That beats the heck out of a guy, like I said, giving you the depth chart.
I've said that since he did his introductory press conference.
Yes.
Google me. I'm like, all right, well, you're going to find out pretty quick. And we did. It was a magical first year for him. We'll do hashtag Buckeyes coming at you next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. My guys at Germain are celebrating their biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. Tons of vehicles on the lot for you to choose from, and they're ready to deal. It's also the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event with rates as low as 2.99%. I was riding in my Lexus on one of our hot summer days, and I felt the crisp breeze of cold air on my cracky. Don't you want that for yourself? Of course you do. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access
to cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
After an audit of our programming, the suits here at The Fan decided we needed more baseball. And that common man is stupid. Good news, we fixed one of those problems. Catch the Reds on The Fan all season long. Yay, baseball. Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Jerry.
You know, as much as I enjoy being a professional inventor, a few of my dream inventions still elude me.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, the bruiseless avocado.
Ooh.
The unlosable TV remote.
Could change the world.
And for you, Aaron, the uncloggable drain.
Get Eco.
Until you crack it, Jerry. You know our 93 or free drain clearing offer is the next best thing.
Okay. Explain yourself.
Get Eco.
Our drain team will clear your drain for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it'll stay clear for at least a year, or we will clear it again for free.
Get Eco.
We'll even send our little robot camera down there to make sure you don't have a larger problem that could cause more trouble in the future.
Get Eco.
You think your guys could bring that robot over to my place and help me find that TV remote?
I think that's impossible even for us.
Get Eco.
Eco, plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at the Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Before we get out of here, got the Inside Edge coming up next. Bobby Mack, dropping just 25 pounds with the Waken 180. He can give you 10 extra degrees of golf swing rotation. About a half club longer, 6 to 10 extra yards every swing. From personal experience, you lose 75 pounds like I did, and it's next level distance, better consistency, energy, and mood. On the back nine, take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180. Online at awaken180weightloss.com. You got a busy weekend coming up here.
Yeah.
You got a marriage in the family.
I've had a busy week so far, and I'm enjoying having these breaks where I come into 97.1 The Fan and help do a show.
Well, we love having you.
Are we doing it again tomorrow night, right? At Yogi's in Grandview.
That's right.
By the way, one of my favorite questions, whenever a player at Ohio State says he's lost like 30 pounds over the body by Maserati off season.
Oh, yeah.
I always say, do you ever go in the weight room and pick up 30 pounds and realize
see what that feels like?
You were carrying this around.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of those big guys, have lost weight, during different times of the year, but it always does you best. I mean, I was at 219 one time back in 2015, at the end of 2015, I go, oh, no, I'm not being that guy. Because I had two brothers that were fairly overweight. They passed away early, too. Mm-hmm. I'm not laughing. I'm just saying the irony of that. But I immediately got down to like 205, and I felt good. Now I'm down to 198. I did my own thing. But
well, you look awesome, man.
But Awaken, that's anything that gets you there.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's not shortcuts. There's no shortcut.
No, there's not a magic bullet.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I did the fast thing, but I studied it big time because I wanted to make sure I was doing things
you're
right.
You're a naturally intriguing person.
Yeah.
Person is what you are.
Yeah, but I didn't want to have this big tummy for one of them. I was going to use another term there, but it's a little bit callous. I didn't want to have a big tummy. And that's the last thing to go. You know what I mean? It is. When you start losing weight, which is too bad. But I've never been stronger than I am right now. I mean,
you're hitting
from a
golf
workout
ball
standpoint,
further than you
I've
ever
never
have.
hit a golf ball further than I hit right now. I just don't always know where it's going.
Yeah, I think that's everybody's
I need
problem,
that Awaken 180 thing. Awaken my golf game.
It can't help you with your golf. I mean, it does, I guess, kind of help you with your golf swing, but not in the direction of which you hit it.
Without a doubt, unless you lose 150 pounds, and then you're a different person.
Absolutely, you are. I was reading this, Tim, and this is fascinating. I remember talking about this a little bit in the spring. Carlos Laughlin's actually headed to trial with Oregon. The Oregonians' James Crapia, Lane County Circuit Court Judge Michelle Bossi, denied Carlos Laughlin's request for a partial dismissal of the civil suit that Oregon filed against him for an alleged breach of contract. Mm-hmm. Earlier in the week, her office notified attorneys for both Oregon and Carlos Laughlin that the case is ready to be assigned to a trial date. His attorney filed an amended answer to the university's lawsuit last week, reiterating the denials and legal defenses that he first presented in May. At the center of this dispute is a $400,000 buyout clause in Laughlin's Oregon contract. Carlos Laughlin sent the university $200,000 personal check after leaving Oregon for Ohio State in April of last year. Oregon returned the payment, claiming it was insufficient under the terms of the agreement, and the university is now seeking the full $400,000 plus 9% interest.
Right.
That's a lot of cash, man.
Yeah, I wonder how long the 9% goes back to, which is, it's like when you use your credit card now and they charge you 3.25.
Wait a minute, you're telling me credit cards charge me a percentage?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's not just free money.
Let's don't go down that route because I'll sound like a guy in Congress trying to rip them. What are they're sitting there smug. They're making more money than they ever have. But that's another story. So is Oregon, by the way, making more money than it ever has.
You know what? Actually,
this is between basically Carlos Laughlin in Oregon. The way I understand Ohio State is taken its stance.
Yeah, correct.
And so everybody comes out. That's how it comes out. But it's what the interesting thing was. Oregon wanted to, when it returned the check, the insufficient funds, which is a flip side on that, but the insufficient check, they wanted to make the point clear, because sometimes you might turn around and go, wait a minute, you took this check, meaning you took this in good faith, meaning we're all hunky dory now, and so that's what they're fighting. Coaches change jobs all the time.
Year after year.
He'd only been there a short while, obviously, and stuff. And so it'll be interesting to see how it comes out. I mean, Carlos is one of the most intense.
Yes, he is.
But effective. I mean, he knows how to push buttons like Urban Meyer push buttons. He takes no glory in whatever you just did. Now can you do it again? He's that kind of guy. And the running backs love him, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
And obviously, he found a way for Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins, two alpha dogs, to pull the same sled last year.
I'm going to be interested to see what they do between C.J. Donaldson, James Peoples, and then even adding in a Bo Jackson into the fray.
I like when you say even adding in a Bo Jackson.
Yeah, what that looks like, right?
I think it's going to be very interesting because what stood out last year, and I was talking about this to somebody this morning. We were just talking about the running attack, and what they had going for them last year was one of the better running attacks in the country.
Two dudes over 1,000 yards.
We all know that the man who came in here, Mr. Kelly, was renowned for creating a running game, and except for the Michigan game, which is still a ridiculous mystery to me, what happened in that game.
The biggest mystery of last season.
Right.
By far.
Wow. They took their turns being superstars in the college football playoffs, Henderson. And and Judkins, and wow, what a tour de force.
I mean, have you ever seen anybody? When do you think Travion was running faster? When he put the kill shot to Oregon in the Rose Bowl, or the one right before halftime on that slip screen against Texas?
I think it was the one against Oregon because he was bound and determined to get there because he didn't quite get there in the regular season game, and he wanted to finish it off. Once he broke free, he went from jet airplane to glider a little bit against Texas, but he got to the end zone in a heartbeat. It was pretty cool. And by the way, what I'm saying is, a minute ago I left it off. Brian Hartline is very interested in having a stout running game. He made that point at the Ohio State football coaches clinic back in April. It was cool to listen to some of those lectures and stuff, but you can't do what you want to do unless you can run the football.
Absolutely, especially here, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
anywhere.
You get you right, truly. You get into some gnarly weather games or whatever. Just pass game isn't working that day.
Forget that. I mean, even against good defenses.
Yeah.
I mean, against the great defenses, if you're playing in a dome, you got to be able to run the football.
Yeah, you got to be able to establish the run early and often.
Yeah.
And I say this all the time. And Brian, if you're out there listening, keep what Chip Kelly was doing. Keep the T formation. I loved it. Anytime they broke that out last year, I just giggled. I giggled at home. I'm like, this is the best.
Robust.
Because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
If it's going to the up back or if it's going either guy on different sides. And they did. They broke it out a couple of times, and it worked for them.
Yeah, the option wasn't just invented like 20, 30 years ago.
The option's been around for forever. Tim, I had a great time with you tonight. Let's do it again tomorrow live at Yogi's in Grandview, all right?
You got it, man. I'll see you there. I'll be there early.
Okay, me too. We'll get to hang out. Maybe we'll play some shuffleboard together. Everybody have an awesome night. We'll be back live tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the evening. The Inside Edge, some hockey talk, is up next right here on The Fan.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway, and you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented